Hey friends, welcome back to Beyond Sunday. I'm Sochiitz, and as always, we like to tap into various topics that help us grow and look more like Jesus and beyond the walls of this church. And today we have a returning guest. Welcome back,
Thank you.
Pastor Laurel Bunker.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
You shared a wonderful message this weekend. We have been, in a series, relationships on the way. We talked about singleness. We've talked about parenting, and then you got to share a little bit about your journey with aging parents, and really encourage people to recognize the relevance of this for everyone who has parents.
Yeah.
No matter what age. And so, thank you for sharing that message. I wanted to tap right into the psalm you shared. Was Psalm 90, verse
Mm-hmm.
12. Teach us to number our days,
Yeah.
and so that we can gain a heart of wisdom.
Yeah.
As I think about that passage or that verse, I'm like, how do I?
Mm-hmm.
How do I number my days?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? What does it mean? Can you tap into that a little bit more for
Yeah.
yourself?
I mean, I think it's important that we don't think of it as cryptic,
Mm-hmm.
but I think about numbering my days as living well. And some of that for me means choosing what I'm going to do and not going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is, as I think we've mentioned before, having healthy boundaries and really choosing wisely how I'm spending my days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, between social media, family, work, we can get to the end of a day. I don't know if you ever feel this way. You can get to the end of the day and think, where did the day go?
Yeah.
Did I eat today? Did I just, or we can just get into such routine that there's no joy associated. There's no sense of, man, what did I do? If I number my days, if I think about how I live my days, I want to be able to go back and look at them and say, man, that was a good week. That was
Yeah.
a prosperous week. I had important conversations. I
Mm-hmm.
checked in on my parents. I called my friends. I spent time with my family. I told my husband I loved him. I didn't leave anything to chance rather than just letting life happen.
Mm-hmm.
So numbering today's to each day is to me about being cognizant of the days that we have, not assuming
Yeah.
we get tomorrow.
Right.
And out of that, making wise decisions, counting the cost of each day, choosing how to live it well,
Yeah.
being able to look back and say, wow,
Yeah. That's
that was good.
good. It's like slowing down,
Yeah.
actually more intentional days, not just letting the day just pass by and on to the next and you just do it over and over again. Like each
Yeah.
day is intentionally a gift from the Lord,
Yeah. Yeah.
and live it well.
And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I can be a multitasker. You're busy, you're married, and you have children and grandchildren and father and jobs. And it can be very easy to just let the busyness of life, even good things,
Mm-hmm.
get in the way of God things.
Yeah.
I'm in a place where I'm saying that's good, but if it's in the way of intimacy with God so that I can address the issues of the day better, something's got to go. Something's got to give so
Yeah.
that I can be more present and attentive. To me, that's about numbering days too. When I'm talking to you or others, am I attentive or am I always looking at something else?
Mm-hmm.
It's being
Mm-hmm.
present in the moment and with
Yeah.
people.
Amen. So I bet that with the journey you're on in life with your aging parents,
Mm-hmm.
your elderly parents, that you talked about being in their 90s, being more intentional about numbering your days is like relevant, like so relevant for you, right?
Very,
Especially when it comes to them and
very.
your daughterhood.
Mm-hmm. Very much
Yeah,
so.
what does that look like?
I think for me, it's regularly calling. It's calling them to check in and say, "Hi, mom. How's your day? How's daddy feeling? Can I pick anything up at the store for you? What's your dinner plan?" Or if it's just hearing my mom say, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while," that means that she misses me.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to let something else go to come and to sit by their bedside, make them some soup and some toast or some crackers, hear about their day, what they were praying about. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I don't have the time for it. Now, I'm fortunate. There are four other siblings in my family. Three of the four are here.
Yeah.
But again, life is busy. What I don't want, though, is to miss opportunity to just tell them I love them. I don't always want to be at their bedside because the diagnosis has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know I'm still their girl. I still can bring them some ice cream. I
Yeah.
still can say, "Did you see the fall colors today?" I
Yeah.
just want them, I want to be present with them in the moment, not wondering about what crisis might erupt
Yeah.
because of the realities of where they're at.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. You had mentioned like growing old is not a number,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not a number, which means that like just because you don't have elderly,
Mm-hmm.
quote, you're getting there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you don't have like older parents, doesn't mean that this message that you shared this weekend is not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important for younger folks to pay attention to this and to make this a priority in their life as far as like relationship with parents now,
Mm-hmm.
and caring for parents now, even if their parents are thriving and doing their thing, like, or I should say, what can young people do to
Sure.
begin that so that's not something new later in life?
One of the blessings that Joshua and I have with our kids is really open and honest dialogue. They love to talk about our lives. For example, my husband and I both had our 40th high school reunions. And my husband put his leather jacket on, and they're like, Dad, you can still wear your leather jacket. Or he asked if we would come to the picnic, and they were just so happy to see him, happy to
Mm,
see how much they all cared about each other. And it opened the door to have conversations, even if they thought his leather jacket was a little bit funny or something, or that he looks different, or they were looking at his high school picture. It gave them a point of reference. And actually, it opened the door to a wonderful conversation because they said, Wow, Dad, it seems like you guys really cared about each other. Like, it seems like your high school years, you guys knew each other's names
mm,
and you hung out and it wasn't so scary. And it brought in some ways some lament for our girls because they're like, a lot of kids don't have those kind of relationships anymore. And they were able to mark how relationships have changed and
wow.
how blessed our daughters feel that they have parents. Some of their friends,
Mm-hmm.
they're like,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, some of our friends can't even talk to their moms. They don't want to talk to their moms at all or their dads, or they're awkward, or they come in the door and just go to their rooms. Like, how blessed are we that we love to hang out with our parents? And so there's a level of acknowledgement in our kids that life is sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their friends have lost their parents, and their parents were younger than we were. And so I would just say to those young ones, like, sickness, a car accident, a debilitating fall can age a parent because cognitively and emotionally, you can feel so sorrowful that it's aging is not simply a part of turning older one year after the other. There are a lot of things, as you know, in your family's journey that can physically and emotionally and psychologically scar and age someone.
Yeah.
So don't assume that your parent who's healthy today isn't going to get a loss of a job or a diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
or simply something natural like the change of life for women that doesn't change their bodies and thereby their sense of self. So
Yeah.
pay attention because parents are human beings too whose emotions come and go. I remember when my husband lost a job, it was so heartbreaking for him, debilitating for him, that his very cognizant, his very countenance was like, Mom, something's wrong with Dad. Like, he just seems so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention, kids. Like, your life isn't just about you. You're not just doing life alone. Like,
Right.
your parents are people too.
Mm.
And their job isn't just to pay for your things.
Right.
There should be a come and go, especially as you get
Yeah.
older. Like, learn to pay attention.
Yeah. That's good. As you're talking, I'm thinking about my father-in-law, who's no longer with us, is with the Lord now. But when he was in his early 80s, he was out for a walk and he was hit by a truck, a Mack truck. He survived it, didn't, but he had suffered a traumatic brain injury. Now he was up there in age, but before this accident, he was like a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Like he was independent, driving, doing everything, like going fishing, swimming in lakes. Like he was still young at heart and still
Mm-hmm.
doing all these things by himself. And then this accident happened and it aged him so quickly. And we
Mm-hmm.
went through that. And it's hard when you're not ready for it too. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you have seen a person operate a specific way and then something happens and they're not the same anymore. And now like they've been aged and
Yes.
now you have to care for them, which led me to the next thought of like how I don't want to come across as insensitive to everyone's stories because everyone's different, everyone's life is different,
Mm-hmm.
but like America's how we treat elders in America is not like the cultural norm in the world.
Correct.
I think about my father-in-law and my culture, Cambodian culture, like we take care of the elders.
Yes.
And scripturally, like you need to honor and take care of your elderly people, elderly family. But I was thinking about how we had my father-in-law staying in a care home for just a few months, and we're like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
because culturally we're like, well, we got to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he moved in with us. It was hard,
Mm-hmm.
um, and but like around the world, that's the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think we as Americans forget really what it means to honor and care for our elders?
I think some of it is just our progressive sense of, the developmental arc of America, our leadership, our drive, our determination. I think, unfortunately, we have come to think well of ourselves
Mm,
and our own independence. And I think some of us don't like the idea of becoming inconvenienced.
mm,
Now, that's not everyone, and there are going to be some people who are going to hear that. But the reality is that I know a lot of people who just never thought of caring for their parents. Like, nope, there's a home there.
yeah.
They made enough money. I'll come visit them. But in my dad's case, even when we had him in short term and long term care, the number of elders who we saw sitting in hallways with no one to visit them. I
Mm,
remember as a child singing in our school choir, going to nursing homes, nobody coming to see these people.
yeah.
Nobody. And I thought, how is this possible? And yes, it is work. It is hard to have to dress your parent or deal with uncomfortable things or toileting or other things. But the reality is, in most, even other developmental places, in Italy and other places, their parents live with them. They see it as an honor and a responsibility
Hmm.
because their parents had given everything
Yeah.
to serve them. And
Yeah.
so I think we can undo some of that, even if parents are living in a nursing home. The quality of life that you can give your parents is important. When my dad was in the nursing home, one of us was with my dad most days.
Yeah.
The blessing was two of my sisters, or at least my youngest sister, worked remotely. And today we're fortunate that most of us can work remotely.
Hmm.
And so, even if you're uncomfortable by the idea of, oh, I don't want to be in this nursing home or I don't like this or that, there are a lot, nursing homes and care facilities have changed a lot. There are different requirements and there are different regulations now. And many of them are wonderful places where there's music therapy and other things. And so, I understand people wanting to protect their parents' dignity, but that's different than not even thinking about caring for your
Yeah.
parents at
Yeah.
all.
Hmm.
And so I would really encourage Americans to find a balance, find a way to say, um, how do we take care of my parents? My dad can't walk right now. But one of the things we keep saying is, Daddy, we're going to bust you out of here. And my husband has said, if I've got to carry my father in law down the stairs and put him in the car so that he can enjoy the wind on his face,
Mm,
which he has not had since last December,
mm,
then that's what we're going to have to do because he is deserving. My dad did everything for us, and
mm.
my mom did. I want their last days to not be in that hospital bed where I come and I feed them some soup, but I don't do the heavy lifting,
Yeah.
even physically,
Right.
of helping my dad
Right.
to experience the best of life. So I hope we can take some cues from that, that the Western way is not the only way.
Hmm. That's good. That's good. Um, was there anything that you, as when you were preparing your message this weekend, that you wanted to tap into that you didn't get to because of maybe time, or something that's on your heart that you really want to speak about?
If I was going to talk about more, I would probably talk about grief and loss.
Hmm.
I would probably talk about the grief that comes with the complications of seeing an 80-year-old dad who was swimming in a water hole being reduced to a
Yeah.
shell of himself.
Hmm.
I probably would talk about the grief that comes when families disagree and fight, when money gets in the way, when there's not enough money and you're trying to figure out how are we going to pay the bill for the care
Hmm.
folks to come in and help care for dad, when they don't remember your name. the grief that comes, like the ultimate goal would be for them to live well. But there is a grief, and I alluded to it, but we could do a whole sermon on the
Yeah,
grief.
for
When you
sure.
fall out with your siblings because everybody's not in agreement about end of life, those things are really hard. Trying to deal with that sibling that doesn't want to be a part of the conversation anymore, not sharing the weight, feeling like
Hmm.
this sibling or those siblings are carrying the weight and the other sibling isn't. Like there's a lot of underground things that go along with the changing seasons of
Yeah.
life. And I think I probably would have talked more about the grieving, um, the sorrow that I see in mom, the fear of not knowing how she will live without my dad. They've been married 66
Mm,
years.
beautiful.
And she, even now, even she's always talking to him, and she's just, even in his sickest moments, I could see the fear.
Hmm.
I could see the wondering. I could see her watching his chest rise and fall. That is to be in the room and to watch that. There's no words for that kind of thing.
No, there isn't.
There's no words.
Yeah. Have you been able to find ways to comfort mom in that, or do you just let her experience that, or has there been moments where you console or?
Yeah, I remember one time it was hard to know where my dad was at. He was sleeping much of the time. The medication he was taking his appetite. My dad was an athlete and a 6-degree black belt in judo and all of those things. And to see him maybe drinking a half of a protein drink a day, he got down to about 114 pounds,
Mm,
regularly about 180, pretty muscular. Um, and I could see her running through the thoughts of their lives almost like a screen. And so I remember just going and putting my arm around her. She was sitting next to his bedside and she leaned against me and started to cry. And I just let her cry. And my sister had to get up and go out of the room because she started crying.
mm,
And we had to be really careful about not talking my mom out of her feelings. Like, mom, it's not that big of a deal,
right.
right? We can, in our own discomfort, try to shush it away.
Yeah.
And we just had to let the feelings be in the
Mm,
moment. There have been a lot of lump in the throat moments like that.
mm,
And
mm,
I suspect more will be. Since this time, my dad's older brother died.
mm.
He died in March.
Sorry.
They were like Irish twins. That was my dad's best friend. And his younger sister, who was just short of 90, also passed
Oh,
away just
wow.
last month.
Wow.
So my dad has also had two siblings pass away. He was able to get to my uncle's funeral, but not to be able to be at my aunt's. And so also watching him recognize that it's not just his own brevity of life, his siblings are passing away.
Yeah.
There are complications all over the place. And
Hmm.
so, I think about that scripture, comfort ye my people, that we oftentimes think about at Christmas. It's comforting mom and comforting siblings and
Yeah.
giving each other that space that I talked about.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I do have a last question for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, there's a lot of heartache, but there's sweet moments too, right? Lots
Mm-hmm.
of sweet moments. I know, especially with the journey that we're on with my dad, who is cancer is like aging him a little bit. There's so many sweet moments that come out of hard stuff. What's some encouragement you have for those listening right now who might be going through it and having a hard time finding some encouragement?
Yeah. I would say one of the sweetest things for us has been going through my parents' drawers and going through their photos and just saying, Dad, what was up with this outfit? And just so that he could see it and holding it up where he
It's
could
probably
see
back in
it.
style now.
Right. Like, wow, Dad, like, what's up with that big medallion? Like, remember back in the
Does it
70s,
spin? No, it's
just the
good.
split open shirt, the
Oh,
silk shirts, and the big
wow.
medallion. Yeah,
That's
Dad
beautiful.
used to love watching kung fu and those kind of things. I'm like, yeah, Dad, but so we would just hold up pictures or look at their wedding photos or just ask questions about their life or the things that he remembered. Um, and it has the way that his eyes will open, or he'll talk about something, or he'll be like, oh, I don't know, or
Hmm.
he'll ask for candy. Oftentimes, like, he loves Reese's and he'll ask for candy, and my mom will say, no, no more candy for you, and he'll look at me and he'll roll his eyes, or he'll be like,
Yeah.
she's got me on lockdown, and
Yeah.
then we'll start laughing. And so I would just say look for the lilt moments, the moments that you can put on a piece of their clothing, or make them laugh, or sing
Hmm.
them a song, or remind them of a moment. Like, just travel with them back and forth on the road of their lives.
Hmm.
For so many of them, there are stories that they want to tell. And sometimes when they know that they're at the end of a season, even if you've talked to them about it before, they are now ready to talk about something. So don't be afraid to bring up something again. Um, have ice cream dates. Let them eat something that they're not supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Just find joy in those things and help them to find reasons to smile in the right now moment.
That's
That
good.
has been the sweetest thing for us, is
Hmm.
living in the moment, in the sweet moments. It's been everything for us.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Love you, brother.
Love you. You'll be back.
I will be back.
And friends, I hope this was encouraging to you. I just want to add that, like, no matter where your parents are, as far as, and we also want to acknowledge that we know that not everyone have good and healthy relationships, and we pray that you're able to mend those. But no matter what age your parents are, ask those questions now. Ask how they met. Ask them stories. Get to know who they are. Make those moments now. It's never too late, and the time to do that is now. So, we hope again that this is a blessing to you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.